Hi, everyone. Welcome to this year's Corporate Deep Dive. My name is Maria Capobianchi, and I'm a lead solutions engineer. I have been in the tech consulting role for over 16 years, 6 of those here at D2L, working with clients all over North America, aligning their learning initiatives with Brightspace. I'm excited to showcase a deeper look into some of the products that can have an incredible impact to your learners and to all of you in the various corporate verticals you are in.
Hello, I'm Ron Farschler, a senior manager of D12's corporate solution engineering team. And I've been with D12 for over 10 years and in the corporate learning space for over 25. Now, in our short time together, we're going to open with D12's view of the landscape and challenges as we see them, then jump into our deep dive with a focus on skill development, engaging creation tools, and how D12 is letting you scale with AI. D12 knows you are facing a very difficult environment, and we are committed to being your partner to allow you to thrive. Here you can see some of the areas we're focused on. For our associations, we know that diversifying revenue is no longer a nice to have, but is a critical factor in your survival. We also know that any LMS will allow you to sell your courses. What D12 wants you to do is sell amazing learning experiences where your members, constituents, employees, and learners are excited and engaged with their learning. And for everyone, we know that your teams are stretched extremely thin and are being asked to deliver more than ever. D12's tools allow you to develop with ease. With our acquisition of H5P last year, we greatly expanded our Creator Plus's capabilities to include over 50 interactives to enhance course experiences. D2L has also spent considerable effort to develop a human centered AI model to help drive your digital transformation by reducing rote work, letting you focus on your critical knowledge and creativity to make your content shine. How are we going to do that? Well, since passive consumption doesn't lead to lasting learning, we want D12's experiential learning to bring your content to life. Through simulation, branching scenarios, or multimedia interactions, it drives active participation and deeper reflection. Experiential learning needs vary across roles and initiatives. A strong platform supports a wide variety of content and activity types, offering the flexibility to meet different objectives, formats, and learner preferences. Experiential learning is also about meaningful application. Whether it's role play, video assignment, or scenario based challenges, learners gain the confidence to transfer skills to real world contexts. By giving the learners a chance to do, reflect, and iterate, we help them to build and refine skills faster and more effectively. It's about moving from knowing to doing it well. Providing learners engaging learning experiences to accelerate their personal development is a great way for you to drive growth. These individuals still need to be able to track their skill development and have that in easy to find way. What they need, when they need it, in order to upskill. So I'm going to turn it over to Maria to walk you through our profession path.
Thank you, Ron. Progression Path is our newest launched career development tool for learners. It was designed to support learners with self-assessments and learning recommendations, enabling each learner to benchmark against professional standards, identify their own personal skill gaps, and create a personalized learning plan to build new skills and further their own professional development. Now, this tool is particularly effective for organizations who have some type of universal standard framework that can help align to their current content library that includes courses, documents, webinars, conferences, and other actionable resources. But just like any other Brightspace tool, Progression Path does come with a full implementation process that helps to support or suggest framework ideas, and of course, to help build libraries to bring this tool to launch. This tool does not discriminate on the type of learner you are. So I can be an internal learner, an external learner, or even an extended learner. Now, before we take a closer look, it is important to reiterate that there are 3 key value areas for learners. One is the self-assessment, giving learners the ability to identify skill gaps and discover learning opportunities. The second is around recommendations and being able to learn about where they can grow. And the third is building a learning plan, something that not only is personalized to them and fits into their lifestyle, but is very much aligned to their professional growth. So let's go ahead and take a deeper look. So here we are logged in as Rose. I can easily jump right to my assessment plan. Now, I will note that as I launch this assessment plan for those administrators out there, this is intentionally designed so that you can build the framework that makes the most sense and align the proper recommendations. For me, as Rose, the learner, I can see the core skills I can evaluate myself on. In this session, I'm just focusing on communication and leadership. If I go to assessment, I'm going to look through the different skills that I should be achieving. Where I know I want to grow is here in effective communication and certainly empathy. And then when I think of my specific areas I want to grow, I want to be the best coach and mentor I can be, and public speaking is important. So I'm going to go ahead and start that assessment. At this point, this is when Rose really wants to be honest with herself. This is a safe place for them to really identify where they are in achieving these skills and picking and choosing where they need to continue to grow. While we all want to be proficient, there's steps to take us to get there. And the first is to be honest and assess ourselves in the proper way. Once I finish, immediately I have that recommendation. What's wonderful is I can see courses to webinars to conferences. I can see all different types of resources. I can read about each course and pick the one that makes the most sense for me to include into my plan. If I know that I have some time on my lunch break, I can jump into something like a TED Talk. I have seen Wendy in action before. This is easy for me to accomplish. I'm going to add this to my learning plan as well. Here's an easy article I can read at night, perhaps. And lastly, maybe there is a conference I want to attend. When I jump into my learning plan, this is where I can have some additional freedoms to manage my actions. So first and foremost, this is where I can say, I watched that TED Talk. I can mark whether it's complete or incomplete. I can also add additional activity. So perhaps I have my own mentor I want to shadow, and I want to add that as part of my activity. And I can simply add it to my plan. If there's a course that I need to enroll in, I can go to my preferred catalog, read that course, and enroll. I can easily jump right back into that learning plan anytime I need to. And what's also really important is that I can stay accountable for all of the completions that I'm doing and reflect on how that is contributing to my success and my professional development. So if you can see here, I have an opportunity to write a reflection that's going to take me directly to my CPT tracker, or otherwise known as our continual professional development tool, where I can talk about an article that I've read. I can identify how much time I've spent. I can upload the link to that article and reflect on what this meant to me as my own personal growth. I think the most important aspect here is this just gives another great way for learners to stay accountable for their learning and all of their learning successes.
Thank you, Maria. As you can see, the profession path helps to build confidence levels across skills and empowers learners to take action to build their career development plan. This way, there is less unnecessary friction when learners are just not sure where to go, and to let them focus on what is relevant to them. Staying engaged in your learning, which supports their long-term success and ultimately boosting productivity. As mentioned previously, those skills are needed for future success. We're at a pivotal moment in the future of work. According to the World Economic Forum, 86% of employers anticipate that AI and digital technologies will significantly reshape their organizations in coming years. In response, organizations are taking meaningful action. While 85% are prioritizing upskilling and reskilling their current workforce, another 70% are also actively hiring new talent with emerging skill sets, and 40% are planning to phase out those roles that are no longer aligned with future needs. The message is clear. Transformation is accelerating. Talent strategy is no longer a support function. It's a business strategy. Companies that don't invest in skills today will fall behind tomorrow. And D2L is here to assist you with our AI strategy, Lumi.
Yes, that's right. Last year, Lumi was one of the most exciting and talked about features introduced at Fusion. For anyone who is new to Lumi, this is our cutting edge generative AI technology to enhance processes within Brightspace that effectively create engaging and effective learning materials, and then provides actionable insight for all those administrators. So just to recap what we covered last year, we introduced Lumi Caption, which enables auto-generated and editing for closed captioning and transcripts of videos, both curated and uploaded into Brightspace. There was Lumi Practice for suggested ideas within Creator Plus. There was Lumi Quiz that leveraged AI to create new quiz questions while still keeping creators in the loop to ensure those questions were accurate and up to date. There was Lumi Idea for assignments and discussions to help suggest uplifting ideas based off existing course content. And then, of course, Lumi Chat to help automate answers and frequently asked questions around your organization and Brightspace, servicing information and resources and how-to guides to users right when they need them. Now, today, we are very excited to announce more Lumi capabilities. First, we have Lumi Content, as you can see playing here in this example. It really helps to accelerate the creation of new online learning material by converting common file types into Brightspace. Creators can choose a level of AI assistance required when generating a new unit. They can create a new unit structure. They can apply Brightspace templates, and they can make any type of importing or edits and review before they make that content and unit available. I will also note that the Lumi now promotes and supports multilingual content creation, which just really helps to empower organizations to deliver more engaging and accessible learning globally. We also have Lumi Summary, which can generate high quality content modules that can be reviewed in 3 different types, which really just helps to modify and adapt for the best use case. So some examples could be, I will, you will, this module will. There is now Lumi for outcomes that help to allow creators to allocate outcomes to assignments, quickly develop and communicate pathways for progression, and of course, ensure that those materials are very much in line with the learner goals. And then lastly, one of my personal favorites is Lumi Study Support, which allows for course creators to recommend course content to learners on the quiz result page after they complete a practice quiz. This gives learners the ability to receive those recommendations, review that content based off their incorrect answers. And the best part is you don't necessarily have to use or leverage outcomes in order to have this tool work perfectly. So let's take a closer look into how Lumi Study Support can work. So logging back in here as Rose, I'm going to jump over into my Lumi Support course. And just like any other experience, I'm going to launch that practice quiz. Now I'm going to make a couple of quick notes as I go through these questions. The first is that if you are using outcomes, just note that Lumi Study Support will prioritize those outcomes. If not, it will sweep through all the content, look at all of the semantics, and it's going to identify similar ideologies, languages, even keywords. Now, as I go through these questions, I'm not necessarily doing this in a way that might be accurate. That's intentional. So as I submit, it's going to analyze and it's going to give me my results as I expect them to, which certainly gives me my score, which is not so great, but it gives me that study support with a really nice result. So at this point, I'm off to the races. I can embrace this content. I can review as many times as I want. And if I feel great, I can go ahead and give another attempt. What's also really amazing is that these attempts and survey support stay with a learner over time. So as many times as I want, I can have as many support guides as I need without it replacing the previous one.
As Maria just showed, D2L Lumi has so much to offer you, from creating content suggestions, practices, and more. And with our newest feature, D2L Lumi Study Support, those features now have a focus on your learners. With relevant recommendations for next steps at the close of each quiz, congratulating learners on the topics they've mastered, and taking them straight to the material they need to review in order to master the rest. H5P. There's been so much buzz around H5P, which started this time last year. For those who are unfamiliar, H5P is a flexible, effective solution for adding interactives into Brightspace. H5P, now part of Creator Plus, offers over 50 different content types that can be used to create interactive content to enhance learner experiences. With these interactives, creators can leverage a wide variety of content, including simple question formats, games, as well as larger course like interactive elements like interactive books, videos, branching scenarios, and course presentations.
And it gets even better. With H5P Smart Import, course designers can speed up that process of course creation, increase creative output by simply uploading content from just diverse sources they're used to using every day, like videos and documents, URLs, or even just simple text. Smart Import will automatically generate a wide variety of content options for you to choose from and how you want to deliver them in a course. So let me show you how H5P can represent itself well to learners, as well as how easy it is to leverage the Smart Import tool. So this time, we're going to actually log in as a creator. So as you can see, I'm logged in as myself, and I'm just going to jump right here into my Fusion course. And I'm going to go over here to content. And we're going to take a look at this page here. Now I'm going to make this nice and big for everyone. And as this loads, you're going to see immediately I have an interactive I can use. This is what we call drag and word drop. So I can fill in the blank, I can have an exercise where I can attempt to build this up. And I can do this as many times as I want. There is no limit to how many times I need to practice this in order to feel successful. We also have real life scenarios. So like in this example, I can drag and drop how I would handle this type of situation. We also have really interactive H5P tools. So being able to put in an image and have a way for learners to click and point and learn. If you want to expand this even further and you think about simulation and 3D interactives, this is a great way to do the exact same thing in like a hotspot activity. One of my favorite tools is this interactive video. So you'll see here when I hit play, there's these little bookmarks that will pop up. That's a great way for learners to take notes. It's a great way for them to pay attention. I'm calling this out for a reason, because then we also have these hollow circles. So if we would drag over here to this hollow circle, you're going to notice a knowledge check. Now, this could be something as simple as saying, are you still here? Because even the most honest people can look away or, get distracted by email, or it could be a true assessment. So a different way on the way we think about assessing our learners. And then lastly, we can have larger activities like this branching scenario, where I can read a scenario and react to how I would take a next step and get immediate feedback. This is just really great examples on how H5P can take your content to the next level. Next is how easy it is to create. So just like you would go to our course temp editor page, it's going to live in the same place. So let's go ahead and enlarge this a bit. Right next to insert stuff, which I'm sure we're all familiar with, I can come right below Creator Plus and launch into interactives. So like our earlier video was showing, if I want to add any of those interactives, I can simply read more about them and figure out if this is a tool I want to leverage. If it's the Smart Import that I'm seeking, I can just simply select New Import, and I can choose from either a file, a link, or a text. In this case, I'm just going to choose a text. I'm going to give it a title. We're going to call it EI for emotional intelligence. And we're going to put in some context in here. I'm good with this. Let's see what it comes back with. I'll hit submit. As it transcribes, you'll notice it's step 1 of 4 simple steps in order to make sure that this Smart Import is working in its best behavior for you. But just like anything else, there's human interaction. First, review, make sure this looks good. If it does, we're going to go ahead and analyze it, and we're going to pull out the key concepts. This is going to be really important as you decide how you want this interactive to behave as part of the course material. So as it analyzes, I have the option to decide what concepts make the right sense and what may not. Once it's complete analyzing, I can view those concepts and I can take off the ones that just doesn't make the most sense. I can hit continue and immediately I pick the type. So the type could be a crossword if I'm thinking about a gamification style for learning. Maybe I'm thinking about flashcards, drag the words, a glossary of key concepts. Maybe the recommendation is to have an interactive book. I like that idea. Let's generate that. So even though it's going to generate, it's going to give me an opportunity for me to go ahead and review it before I insert that in. So let's take a look at what that looks like here. So here's our example. We're going to open this up. We're going to read this, and it says, this is the concept. Let's page through this book. Oh, this is really nice. It's all built in a nice accordion style. I can see those keywords. I can see the glossary of icons that I want to be mindful of. I can also see some flashcards for some simple context or memorization. Perhaps you want to have an inline quiz that can help validate along the way, maybe some additional activities, maybe some validation on additional flip cards, a nice recap, and a good summary page. This is exactly the kind of interactive that makes sense. I definitely want to be able to import that. And with a click of a button, I can insert and off I go. How fast and great was that?
That was fast and awesome. I will just add that H5P is not a tool to replace the brilliance of the talent that you all have, but rather to support it. Give you an AI assistant, if you will, that takes your learning strategies and provides support for you to choose how you want to deliver these concepts in an interactive and engaging way. I really hope that you're excited about all the amazing things we have delivered to ignite the joy of learning as I am. However, before we go, I'm going to steal the old Apple one more thing. Some of you may have experienced working with D12 to leverage Link to better integrate Brightspace into your ecosystem. For some of you, that experience may have been time consuming and confusing. As we announced this, we have heard from you, and we are now working with a variety of partners in the AMS, HRIS, and CRM space to have pre built integrations. No more back and forth with multiple SOW revisions. D2L wants to make your life easier, and easy starts from the moment you decide to bring Brightspace in. Simply let us know you want to integrate with, as we support CRM such as Salesforce and HubSpot, AMSs such as Impexium, which is now Remembers, and IMIS, and dozens of other systems, as we have those integrations pre-built now for you. This does not mean that more complex integrations are not available, but when you just need to get users and course information in and out of Brightspace, we have made that simple for you. I'm really excited about what we have for you this year. The great strides we have made since our commitments to you all in Toronto at our last fusion have been immense. From skills tracking to Lumi to enhanced experiential learning, D2L is here to ignite the joy of learning. Thank you very much.